Hi, my name is Katelyn Brinkerhoff, and I'm with Iowa State University Extension Outreach in Woodbury County. I'm the horticulture educator here, so I helped with the Master Gardener program, and I have Emily Yockey, who's the youth nutrition educator, and she teaches Pick a Better Snack in our school system. And we're going to learn a little bit about starting seeds today. So the first thing that we're going to go through, Emily, is what we need to start seeds inside. So the biggest thing is what type of tray you want to use. So I have a couple different examples out here. We have some compostable trays, so that's going to be the brown ones that we have. And then we have plastic cells. And then I brought out a couple extra things that I thought would be kind of fun, or things that you can do with upcycling at home.
Okay.
Which would be yogurt cups that you can drill a hole in the bottom of. And then you can also use an orange rind. And you'll want to use that only for when they're first coming up, and then eventually move those into a bigger tray.
Okay. And I can get all of this at a store locally, or where do I get these at?
You can get this at any lawn and garden store. You can also order it offline if you want to. I got some of my stuff from a big gardening center offline. So that's all the materials that I have. So besides the cell starting tray, you're also going to want a big flat or a big plastic container that you can put all the seeds in. So you want something that can fit the cells that you have or the little cups that you have. And then also a lid that you can put on top of them. So this is going to help with the germination process. It's going to help keep all the moisture inside. So until all of the little seedlings start bursting out of the soil, you want to keep that lid on. So you can see with the ones behind us, you have all the water and moisture in there. So that's going to help the seeds germinate and then grow bigger. Usually I keep the lids on until the seedlings hit the top of it. But really once they emerge, you can take the lid off.
Perfect.
Now when it comes to soil, the best kind that you can have is a seed starting mix, just a commercial one that you can buy at the store. There are ways that you can make mixes, but if you're starting out, I would really recommend just buying any kind of commercial kind. And before you go to plant them into the cells or into whatever container that you have, you want to put the soil into a big container. So I have it in a big tub here. You'll want to moisten it. You don't want to have it too wet, where if you pick it up and squeeze it, you're going to basically wring water out of it. You just want it a little moist so that the seeds have it in there. Because if you water it afterwards, your seeds can actually kind of flood out of the soil, and they're so small, so you want to make sure that they stay in there. So always watering them down. You want to make sure that you get seed starting mix. So here you can see I have two different types of soils. So I have a seed starting mix, and then we have a potting mix. So you can see the difference in there. The seed starting mix is a lot more fine, and the potting mix is a little chunkier. And you can see the white clumps in there. That's fertilizer, so it can actually be harmful to the seedlings. It can actually burn them. And then so it's just not going to be a good home and good start for those seeds.
So strictly seed starting mix. Perfect.
Yes. Other equipment that you want to make sure that you have is a type of calendar to make sure that you keep track of everything. So I have mine in a binder, and I just print out calendar pages. And then in there, I mark what week that I'm starting certain plants. So the best way to do this is to figure out what gardening zone that you're in and go all the way back to what would roughly be your planting day. For us in Northwest Iowa, it kind of lands around Mother's Day. So I guess that we would be starting our plants probably the week of May 17th, so after Mother's Day. So I circled and highlighted a big planting week on my calendar, and then what I did is counted back. So I have week 0, which is on May 14th, it's the week of Mother's Day, and then I counted back 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to however many weeks I needed. So up to week 10 is what I started. And so at week 10, I knew that I need to start different things like cabbages or some broccoli. So I wrote that down, and I wanted to make sure that I started it on that week. So you can start it any days of that week. It could be even a week later, but you roughly know when you need to be starting it. So this is just a good way to kind of keep track of everything. And then here you can also see the list that I planted last week. So when I planted the broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, I made sure to list all the different varieties that I had. And then I also kept them in this little pouch, because the seed packet that you have is going to have all the information that you need in order to keep track of your plants and make sure that they get outside in time, and different care that you need for them. So making sure you have the list of what you have, and then later on you can maybe start a garden journal and list all that information in there that you might need.
Okay.
So you can start both vegetable seeds inside as well as flowers inside. So again, the most important thing to do would be to look at your seed packet. So here we have days to germination, and then also next to that we have start indoors. So the start indoors is the most important part, and then also the direct sow. So to direct sow would mean that we just plant it directly outside.
Okay.
So there are some things that you can do like that, like these sunflower seeds I'm holding. We can plant these directly outside if we want. So those are all the fun things that we need. Now, when you get to actually plant them in the soil, what we need to do is have like a little cup that you'll have to get the soil into the cells, and you don't want to compact the soil. So you want it to be lightly full. You want to have it all the way to the top. And again, we want to make sure that our seed mix is already moistened, so we don't have to worry about any flooding out later. And then when you go to plant the seed, the best thing to do is to make sure that you plant it about double whatever the size of the seed is. So if your seed is about 1 inch, make sure it's planted 2 inches below. Now a lot of vegetable seeds are pretty small, so what you can usually do is I'll just poke my pinky in, and that's usually deep enough, just a little bit of the tip, and then get that seed in there and then cover it up.
Okay.
Some seeds that are even smaller, you can almost just put them right on the surface, and then when you go to water them, the best thing to do is I use a spray bottle. It's not going to be too intense for the seedlings or anything like that. If you go in with a watering can, you might have that flooding out moment again with those seeds. So the best thing to do would be a spray bottle or using a little cup. I know some master gardeners that use an old soap bottle because they can control the flow of that water really nice.
Good idea.
That's pretty good. Some other tips for you too would be the light that you need to have. So a lot of people think that setting up next to a window is going to be the best, but actually the windows restrict a lot of that sunlight coming in. And then also it can get too cold by windows. So using some kind of artificial light, so we have grow shelves here next to us, would be the best. And then in the shelves we have cool and warm lights. So that's just on the light spectrum there. And they're going to be the best rays for the plants there. You can also use grow lights, so you can see that here, the purple color in there, and those are our grow lights.
Okay, if I wanted to get a grow light, where could I get that at?
Yeah, most lawn and garden stores have small sets of grow lights. This one that we have here is just a shelf that we got at a department store, and then we have shop lights that we got offline. And then full of those lights. So we also have heating mats for some of them. As long as you're sitting at about 60 degrees Fahrenheit in your house, you don't really have to worry about a heating mat. It just it does speed up the germination of the plants though. Thank you so much for joining me today, Emily, and learning a little bit about starting seeds today. For anybody that has any other questions about starting seeds at home, make sure to reach out to your local county extension office for some more information. In the description of this video, I'll have some links to publications about starting seeds at home, as well as suggested plants to grow in your home vegetable garden. So thank you so much for joining us, and let us know if you have any questions.
Sure. Okay.